Hello everyone, it's Skil here from the Grim Reapers. Today I will be going over a short hardware review and my initial impressions video for the Flight Seat Pro Boeing Military Edition and the Flight Stand Pro, both from Next Level Racing. For the purposes of full disclosure, Next Level Racing sent me the Boeing Military Edition of the Flight Seat Pro and the Flight Stand Pro for this review. They didn't ask for any favourable comments, only that, as always, I give my honest opinions and feedback. The Flight Seat Pro Boeing Military Edition and the Flight Stand Pro are two top-tier products from Next Level Racing in their flight simulation range. They have been designed to be compatible with a wide variety of controls from most of the main manufacturers, with multiple mounting options, which we'll have a look at later. They've also been designed to provide the user with an authentic cockpit feeling to provide the next level of immersion to your flight sim experience. The two systems can be purchased and used separately, or they can be combined into a single super unit, which Next Level Racing call the Flight Simulator Pro. All of the details are available on their own website, and the prices shown here are correct as of early November 2024. The first thing you'll notice when the boxes arrive is that they arrive by lorry, on a pallet, weighing in at over 100 kilograms, or 220 pounds to those of you in the States. The outer packaging advises you of the weight and warns you that each box will require 2 people to lift them. I would strongly suggest you take heed of this warning, as they are quite heavy and very awkward to carry. As I am old, stubborn, and more importantly have no friends to help me, I decided to get them up 2 flights of stairs to my new man cave by myself. Inside each protective outer box is the retail packaging with all the pretty pictures and product information. Each box contains a very detailed instruction manual for the respective unit, their own individual package containing all of the tools and hardware you'll require for the assembly of each product, and the parts themselves. And there are a lot of parts, and they're all solid metal, which makes them heavy. They're all individually wrapped in an abundance of bubble wrap, which means everything arrived in perfect condition. I have to say that the instruction booklets were some of the best printed instructions I've ever seen for a self-assembly item. Not only were the instructions extremely detailed and very easy to follow, the instruction books have QR codes on each page which link to instructional assembly videos for the relevant sections. I started with the Flight Stand Pro, which took about 1.5 to 2 hours in total to assemble. After a short break for food, I moved on to the Flight Seat Pro. Again, the excellent instructions made this very straightforward to put together. As straightforward as it was, it still took about another 3 hours to complete. For both the Flight Stand Pro and the Flight Seat Pro, I found that the parts went together very well. They have obviously been manufactured to a high standard, with tight tolerances, so that each part fits together nicely. The only thing that makes some parts of the assembly more challenging is the sheer weight of the assembled parts. The Flight Stand Pro and the Flight Seat Pro are both constructed of 3mm thick steel, so they are heavy, they feel solid and rugged. On that note, helpful hint, when assembling both the Flight Stand Pro and the Flight Seat Pro, you have the option to use either lockable caster wheels or small height adjustable feet. Unless you need to use the feet due to an uneven floor, I would highly recommend using the wheels as they make moving the heavy assemblies much easier. Although the assembly is straightforward, even with the help of a dedicated wingman like this one, it is time consuming, so you should either plan to do it in sections or allow the best part of a day to get everything put together. Once assembled, the Flight Stand Pro provides many options for mounting a variety of flight sim hardware. The HOTAS plate for the stick, the flight plate for the throttle, the mouse plate and the pedal plate all have numerous holes and slots cut into them, so that as far as I can tell, almost every major HOTAS system and pedals from the main manufacturers have been catered for. The stand allows for the mounting plates themselves to be mounted in different positions to suit the needs of the user, such as the center mount for the stick can be mounted to accommodate a stick with an extension or one without. Some of the mounts have built-in adjustment, so that they can be moved by simply loosening a couple of handles or bolts and moving them to a desired position, then tightening up to secure. I'll show some images here to give examples of the Flight Stand Pro with some different controls using different mounting solutions. As I said, the Flight Stand Pro can be used as a standalone item, mounting your equipment on it and then using your own chair. Anyone who uses an office chair or gaming chair for their flight simming whilst using rudder pedals will know that it's no fun to be halfway through a dogfight, kicking your rudder left and right, only to roll away from the controls on the caster wheels of your chair. Next Level Racing have you covered. The Flight Stand Pro includes what they call a wheel cradle. This attaches to the lower section of the frame of the stand, and then you place the front wheels of your chair into the cradle, stopping your chair from moving away whilst you're flying. Again, once assembled, the Flight Seat Pro offers the same mounting plate options as the Flight Stand Pro with a HOTAS plate, flight plate and mouse plate. There are numerous mounting position options for the plates and their assemblies, and once fitted they can be adjusted further by simply loosening off some bolts, moving the plates to the desired position on some sliders and retightening. You can have the centre mount for the stick attached to the lower section of the base, or just below the level of the seat, giving you options to use normal sticks or sticks with an extension fitted. As with the stand, I have taken some images of the Flight Seat Pro with a variety of controls and mounting options, just to give a small example of some of its versatility. The seat itself is obviously designed to resemble a military-style aircraft seat, with a cutout in the base. It is fitted onto two sliding rails so that it can be moved backwards and forwards by pulling a small lever. The angle of the seat back can also be adjusted. The slide function makes the seat easy to get in and out of. I don't have anything mounted to the right side of the seat here, which also helps. But even with the mouse plate fitted to the right side of the seat, I found it simple enough to climb in and out of the cockpit. Once in, just slide the seat forward to the correct position and you have all of your controls within easy reach. The seat also comes with a fully adjustable 4-point seatbelt system. These don't only provide an extra level of immersion for those that like to click themselves into their cockpit, but they also might serve a real purpose, as the seat base can be fitted with a motion platform, meaning it might actually need the seatbelts to hold you in place during some of the more aerobatic manoeuvres. The last wee addition you get is a lumbar cushion, which I find helps with my old man back problems. Needless to say, you can use the Flight Seat Pro as a standalone unit, sitting at your desk. Once you have assembled both the Flight Stand Pro and the Flight Seat Pro, you can meld them together to form the Flight Simulator Pro. It is simply a case of removing a couple of the lower leading edge attachments from the seat frame and the rear two caster wheels from the stand, then bolting the two together. Once attached, the single unit of the Flight Simulator Pro is one solid, sturdy cockpit unit. I really liked it. It is solid and felt super immersive. But here is where I ran into my only real problem with the whole system. The problem is at least partially of my own doing, so I can't really blame Next Level Racing. I use Winwing's Phoenix MIP along with the F16 ICP, which I have mounted onto a Monster Tech mount. This mounting system, by its very nature, means that the MIP and MFDs are pushed closer to you, away from the desk, or in this case, the flight deck mounting plate of the Flight Stand Pro. So when I joined the Flight Stand Pro and the Flight Seat Pro together in the Flight Simulator Pro configuration, I found that I couldn't mount my flight stick far enough back from the MIP so that the top of the stick didn't hit the MIP when I pushed the stick forward. I tried as many different mounting solutions as I could, and some of them very nearly worked. However, in the end I had to separate the stand and the seat and have them about an inch or two apart to give the stick the clearance that I needed. As I say, this would not have been an issue if I was using the standard Winwing mounts, and I probably would have got away with it if I didn't use 200mm extensions on my sticks. So not really a Next Level Racing problem, but I thought it was worth pointing out in case anyone out there is using a similar setup and is considering the Flight Simulator Pro as a purchase. I mean, still buy it, it's awesome, but you might have to do as I did and just have them slightly apart. Just to give you some indication of how many mounting options and different configurations both systems offer, here is an image of the parts that I am not currently using. And here is some of the hardware that I've left over. I'll let some footage of me flying in DCS play in the background whilst I briefly talk about actually using the Flight Seat and Flight Stand Pro. As I said earlier, I find that the seat is easy to get in and out of, and once in it, all of my flight controls are within easy reach and in the correct positions. I only ever fly in VR using my trusty Pimax Crystal or Crystal Light, so it's important to be able to have your controls where you want them. And both the Flight Stand Pro and the Flight Seat Pro have so many mounting options and position adjustments that you can place things exactly where you need them, so the ergonomics are great. I find the seat to be comfortable enough for multi-hour flying sessions, and as you can see, there's enough space and enough freedom for the amount of physical movement needed when dogfighting in VR. The cockpit is absolutely rock solid with no flex or movement in any of the control mountings. Because everything's contained, I now have the cockpit set up away from my desk. In conclusion then, I think that the Flight Seat Pro Boeing Military Edition and the Flight Stand Pro from Next Level Racing are excellent individual products, and either one would be a great addition to your flight sim setup, but both combined, or even slightly apart, as the Flight Simulator Pro makes for an amazing home cockpit. Out of the box, they both offer enough versatility to mount almost any control in the position that you want, and with a little bit of creative thinking, you can figure out everything else. Except for the issue of my particular mounting solution and stick not allowing me to have the stand and seat connected into the Flight Simulator Pro, I had no problems with either the assembly or using the cockpit. These items are not cheap. However, the build quality is excellent and the fit and finish is great. Once everything has been put together and the bolts are tightened, it's an absolutely solid beast of a setup, which I fully expect to last many years. These are more of a kind of a longer term investment than some of the other flight sim gear you might buy. If you're looking to buy a cockpit setup, I can wholeheartedly recommend the Flight Stand Pro and the Flight Seat Pro from Next Level Racing. But as always, if you are considering a high value purchase like this, I would also recommend watching as many reviews as possible to get as much information and as many different opinions as you can. Let's hurry this along, shall we? Splash 1. I plan to return with a longer term user review for this at some point in the future, so keep an eye open for that. Until then, thank you all for taking the time to watch this review, and I'll catch you later.